Tanzania's main opposition party and presidential candidate, Edward Lowassa, has rejected the ongoing vote tally in last weekend's presidential and parliamentary election. Chadema National Chairman Freedom Mbowe.
The whole process has been flawed. We have seen some fake ballot papers and ballot boxes, fake documentary being trashed around. We have seen excessive use of force. We call upon the international community to look into this case of Tanzania seriously.
Tanzanians voted for a successor to President Jakaya Kikwete Sunday, who's leaving office after completing his second 5-year term. Observers say the race between the ruling CCM party candidate John Magufuli and former Prime Minister Edward Lowassa is too close to call. However, the vote in Zanzibar was annulled Wednesday. The island's Electoral Commission chairman cited alleged violations of vote rigging and other irregularities. On the mainland and in Zanzibar, Sunday's vote was peaceful, and the turnout was unusually high. But EU observers have expressed concern about the lack of transparency by the electoral body in Tanzania and Zanzibar. The EU describes the poll as highly competitive and generally well organized. It has appealed to the electoral bodies and political parties to safeguard the national interest by ensuring peace and tranquility. It is not known when the new vote in Zanzibar will take place. Lowassa left CCM in July, and a coalition of opposition groups known as Lukawa is backing his bid for the presidency, offering the first ever real challenge to CCM's 50-plus year grip on power. And in the Ivory Coast, President Alassane Outtara returns to power after a bitter battle for office with 83.66% of the vote. President Alassane Outtara congratulated Ivorians and his political opponents for their conduct throughout the campaign. The vote was generally peaceful and praised by election observers, boosting the West African nation's bid to turn the page on a history of violence. The poll was marred by prominent opposition candidates pulling out and citing widespread irregularities. The Electoral Commission says about 60% of eligible voters turned out. A civil society group put the figure at 53%. Observers from the West African bloc ECOWAS and the African Union say it was free and fair. President Outtara came to power after defeating former President Laurent Gbagbo in the November 2010 election. Gbagbo's refusal to recognize the victory, although it was recognized by the international community, sparked post-election violence, which claimed many lives. Gbagbo is in custody at the International Criminal Court at The Hague and is due to go on trial for crimes against humanity on November 10th. The economy of the Ivory Coast has grown significantly over the past 3 years, but President Outtara still has not unified the politically divided West African nation. Paul Sisco, VOA News.